Making a native beehive insulation cover. Step 1, make sure you measure your hive, figure out how long, wide and tall it is, and then you need to figure out how thick your insulation is going to be. So I am using polystyrene foam for my hive, which you can see there. And I have written the dimensions of the hive just there, as well as the dimensions of the insulation cover. So you need to practically add the thickness of the polystyrene foam onto the hive dimensions, and that will figure out what your insulation box sizing will be. So you can see here I've written the sizes of the front and back panels, the sides and the top, and the total length when we add all those together. So the next step is to measure and mark up. As they always say, measure twice, cut once. Alrighty, and the next step is to cut. So we're going to dig in. I'm going to be using my Hive jigsaw to cut the foam today. So you just got to make sure you got the right size tool piece, and yeah, nice affordable little machine, does the trick. I've used it on many of my projects, like building my little native beehive as well. So let's get into it. So the other thing you're going to need are some clamps to keep the foam down, or whatever your building material is, and yeah, let's get into it. Roughly you can get an idea of how it's going to look, except this gap here, that's going to be raised, so it's more like that, and there's a little gap at the bottom. The reason for that is because on my hive we have this little this little extension part, so that's just a cutout so that it sits nice and neat over that. So yeah, the next part that we need to do is we need to cut a hole at the entrance tube for the front and the back, because this was set up as an adduction hive, so it does have a connection tube towards the back of it, where it was initially connected to the mother hive. So yeah, let's give it a crack. Okay, so now we've gone through, we've measured up, we've cut all the pieces. So the next job is basically to glue it all together and use our clamps to help hold all those pieces together. So I'm going to be using some wood glue. I've heard that the polystyrene is quite porous like timber, and it should adhere to each other using that timber glue. So we'll see how we go. Let's do it. So I glued all the pieces together and left it to dry overnight, and I've just made sure that the box fits, and it does, which is great. So now it's time to paint. So I guess the one thing that I haven't covered off is why I've built this native beehive insulation cover, and the reason being is that the hive that the adduction was set up in was made out of plywood, which I don't think has as good as insulation properties as, say, hoop pine, like the hive that I built not too long ago. So by building and then utilising this polystyrene foam insulation cover, it's just going to help the native bees stay a little bit warmer in the cooler months and help combat the heat in the hotter months. So yeah, that's my main reason for it. I know that native stingless bees, they aren't as effective in keeping the hive cool and warm as honeybees are. So yeah, this is just going to help give them the best chance of survival during the cooler months that we're about to experience. Alrighty, and now for the grand reveal. Let's put it on.
Perfect. There you go. Looks a bit like an esky, but I mean it's going to serve its purpose in keeping the hive cool in the warmer months and hot in the cooler months. You beauty.